morning and welcome to Teach Me Bees, episode 961, for those who aren't counting. We're having a lot of fun here
Been around
today,
for a long time, huh?
and this is a part of the entrepreneurial journey, and we're having a good time, and I like to call this Teach Me Bees and Other Cool Stuff. I just am playing with the name of that. Good morning, Scott the Beekeeper. How are you doing today on Thursday morning? You're dressed in black. You going to a funeral?
I'm not dressed entirely in black. My pants are green, so...
That's good. I don't look below the waist. I just kind of keep it from the
we have
shoulders
this
up.
table that doesn't let us see here, so... no, I'm doing all right today.
Even if the table wasn't here,
Keep your eyes...
I wouldn't be gazing below the bar.
That's good. That's good. That's a life lesson for everybody out there.
Especially since we're talking about anatomy today of the bee.
We are talking about the anatomy, biology.
We're going to be talking about my
some people's favorite
part,
topics.
which is the reproductive portion of the show.
Of the show or of the bee?
Both.
Yeah, so the honeybee can be broken down into three main parts: the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. I think one of those is pretty self-explanatory, the head, right? Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. The look you gave me was like, I don't know. Yes.
I mean, you know, we can. This show might go rated R.
I might have to check the box on YouTube
the
and
first
whatnot.
rated R show we've ever done.
Is this designed for kids or not?
Yes, absolutely it is. Absolutely. Listen, we're going to keep this PG. My own kids listen to this thing, but we're going to have a fun. We're going to joke around. We're going to have a good time. We're going to talk about bees and other cool stuff. So, listen, we got the head. It's one of the... How heavy is the head in comparison to the rest of the body?
That I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to get back on how heavy is a bee's
Ralph,
head.
can we Google that real quick? How heavy is a bee's head compared to the thorax and abdomen?
I'm on it, good sir.
All right, Ralph is going to work in the back stages of this show to get us an answer that we may or may not have. All right. So we got a compound eye. Talk to us about the compound eye.
Well, there's actually two of those bad boys.
Really?
Yeah.
They're not pirates.
They are not pirates. They're not
Pirate
wearing
bees
patches.
would be an awesome type of bee.
As in, I mean, you could say there's pirate bees because there's robbing that happens between hives. So they have some pirate tendencies.
Really? I like bees even more now.
Well, not if you're a weak hive. You're getting picked on. It's like the weak kid at the playground getting picked on.
Yeah, that's a tough place to be.
It is a tough place to be. But the compound eyes basically are this conglomerate of thousands of lenses that help make up this one compound eye. So there's two of these bad boys. They help the bees recognize color, light, and directional information. So kind of where to go, when to go, those kinds of things. And then there are what's called the simple eye. You know, one is compound, more complex. One is simple, the simple eye. And there are three of these. And they're kind of in the shape of a triangle around the compound eye. This is how the bee sees. Also helps determine light and what it brings in. So they have way more eyes. Even myself, who wears glasses, at times could be known as a four eyes when I was younger. But bees...
Sounds like a whole nother podcast here.
Bees got five eyes. They ain't no four eyes.
Have you worn glasses since you were little?
Actually, no. I wore glasses starting... I was 18. But I did wear... maybe 17. I don't know. I wore contacts when I was in middle school.
Okay.
So you
look real nice in glasses.
Thank you. The same vibe of like you can't see for that still is still there, even if you got contacts on. Kids are ruthless.
Kids are ruthless. I don't believe in bullying, so
no, not at all.
I don't think that's a good thing, especially with little kids. I just we don't want that. We're not even going to joke about that because it's just so tough.
Don't be a bully.
Bullying is so tough. There's no place for bullies in this world. All right, antenna detects odors and measures the flight speed. So they've got their own little kind of navigation system
absolutely
built into the antenna.
Yep.
What happens if an antenna gets bent?
They probably are not going to know where they're going.
What happens if it gets bitten off?
Have you ever tried to listen to the radio in your car without your radio antenna? You can't listen to it. It's all static. So apply that to the bee.
All right.
That's a dead bee.
The mandible. The head of the bee has a mandible. And
that's the jaws.
Not to be misconstrued with the Mandalorian.
Not the same by any means.
The Mandalorian.
Too good
The
TV show.
Mandalorian. Strong jaws help bees eat pollen, cut and shape wax, feed, clean, and bite intruders. I saw a fight last night between a praying mantis and a Japanese hornet. Because
on YouTube or like live?
I like watching insect wars.
Okay.
On YouTube.
Okay.
The praying mantis wins 90% of the time. Except one time a praying mantis was eating the head of a giant Asian wasp, like just taking like real life size bites out of its face. And another wasp was eating the praying mantis and bit the praying mantis in half.
I remember you told me about this one.
Okay.
This is crazy.
So last night's story was the praying mantis trying to get the bee, the wasp. The wasp trying to sting the praying mantis. It took the praying mantis like 4 or 5 times to actually get him in the grasp. But once it got him, it just comes in with its face and goes. And
it holding it out.
Yeah, and it just raises its face down, and its little beady eyes are just. And it bit one of the compound eyes off, and inside the compound eye, it was bright white.
Oh.
And I watched it eat its entire face off in like
Insect Wars, everybody.
8 minutes. So
if you want to watch that,
the point of that is that the mandible is actually very strong. Strong jaws on insects are actually very strong. They can actually take big bites of things. It's really kind of a cool thing. And then the proboscis. Are we saying that right?
Proboscis?
Proboscis?
I'm not
Proboscis?
sure. That one I'm not sure how to pronounce, but it's the tongue. It's just a fancy name for the tongue.
It's the tongue.
We all know what a tongue does. Helps you eat and drink. And for bees, helps them pass food to other bees.
The tongue is a very important part of the body.
Yes. Yes, it is. I don't think I could exist without. I mean, you can, but I couldn't imagine life without a tongue. Like, how do I taste food? I love food, and I love to taste good flavors.
Yes.
So, apply that to the bee. But I'm glad that humans don't feed food with tongues. Let's say that. Glad we don't do that.
We could go down that path if you wanted.
We're not gonna go there.
We're going to keep it PG.
We're not gonna go there.
Listen, I had a friend who had his tongue shot off.
Like, was he doing dumb stuff, or was
he got shot in the face?
That sucks.
This just happened.
Just happened.
A couple of weeks ago.
Wow. That's tragic.
It is. Lost his tongue. Brutal.
Wow.
All right, thorax. We've got the
turn.
thorax. It contains wings, legs, muscles involved for movement. I hope that you are really finding this fun, because this is, when you teach a bee anatomy class, you really got to find a way to just liven this thing up.
You do. So I don't know about you, but back in my high school days, when I took biology, my teacher was, I think, near retirement, and may not have been the best teacher, at least for my learning style. So I hated biology in high school. I hated science. It just was not my thing. So I hope that this is a little bit more fun and entertaining, and if we get things wrong, I'm going to chalk it up to the fact that I did not like biology in high school. My apologies.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that?
But bees are more interesting, if I'm being honest.
We were shooting a podcast yesterday, and we had a guy on there. Great show, great host. Great, contestant, guest, whatever you want to call
No, you were
him.
a great host. You were an awesome host.
I'm a great host.
You are.
I like to think that every single day. But at this particular moment, what happens is this gentleman starts talking about the multiplication of matrices and other things. And he's like, all that stuff you learned in algebra. And I was thinking to myself, this is actually what I was thinking to myself on the show. I was thinking, I don't ever remember learning about multiplying matrices and the other word that he said that I can't even pronounce in algebra in high school. I don't remember doing any of that.
That phrase seems somewhat familiar, but I don't know. Look, they lost me when they brought in imaginary numbers. You started putting an I in an equation, and it just means an imaginary number. I was like, I'm done. We're just gonna make stuff up now. I'm done.
There's some truth to that. So we've got the thorax, the wings, the legs.
It's the midsection of the body. So head, thorax, and then the abdomen is the longer section.
Here's my favorite part of the bee, and it's called the hind wing.
Why is that your favorite part?
Well, because it's used to cool the hive and evaporate moisture from nectar. And it's kind of one of the coolest parts about it because it's like built-in air conditioning.
Something like
who
that.
Who doesn't want a little built-in air conditioning, right? That's what it's used for. It's used to cool the hive and evaporate moisture from nectar. And so I think that it's one of the coolest things, right? It gets hot in that hive. They like it warm. They like it about 98 degrees.
93 to 98, yeah.
I'm a cool flyer. I want to let you know when I'm sitting shotgun or driving the car, I want my temperature
AC
set
on
at about 60 degrees.
That's chilly.
That's where I like to be. I also like my cooled seat on at the same time.
Do you wear a jacket?
Nope.
Usually? Okay.
I like to drive naked.
That'll get you in trouble.
I'm just kidding. I don't
The
drive
following
naked.
podcast is now rated PG-13 for all audiences.
For all audiences.
Thanks, Ralph.
And it's rated X if you're riding in the car. No, but seriously, I wear clothes in the car. I'm just teasing. But seriously, like I love it to be 60 degrees. And I love the cooled seat on. I like the chill, right? I like it cold. I don't like to be overextended in heat. My wife, on the other end, love her to death. She likes the heated seat on full blast, and she likes the heat on 82 degrees at all times.
Oh my gosh!
So it's like an oven over there. Okay.
So who wins this match? Can you change the temperatures in the car?
Well, we have dual controls.
Okay.
So.
Is it like in the middle? In
modern vehicles, the one side.
Some of us drive 20-year-old cars around
one
here.
of us, we have dual climate control, which, makes. I forgot that cars don't have dual climate control. So
Yeah, some old ones don't.
I apologize for
Some of us
making
less privileged people around here don't
making
have
you feel
those.
bad. But
It's either all or nothing here.
Hey, you got 2x60.
What do you mean?
2 windows going 60 miles an hour is
There you
air
go.
conditioning, right?
There you go. I got that.
You don't know that? You don't know that
No,
slang?
I don't know that one.
All right, well
Guess
now
that's
you learned
my
something.
time.
You learn something new every single day.
There is the hind wing that Dave mentioned. There's the forewing. So that's the front wing and the back wing. The forewing is generally larger. Obviously used for flight, also cools down the body of the hive. What's really cool is the bees will combine the forewing and the hind wing to make like one massive wing. It looks like it's one wing. Technically it's not, but they hook together for flight. And so that's really cool. So when you see bees flying around, you may be like, oh, I don't see the different wings. Well, they hooked them together, which I think is pretty stinking cool.
I think it's pretty cool too.
And then obviously they got their legs. You got front legs, you got back legs. The front legs kind of help clean the antenna. You got to keep your directional orientation clean so that the bees know where they're flying, right?
Yeah.
They don't want to get lost in the wilderness. They want to be able to come back home. And the rear legs also help clean off pollen, clean their body, keep them healthy and groomed. So that's what their legs do. Obviously, they walk around and everything too. So that's the thorax. It's kind of the wings and legs are in the thorax, an important part, and not to be confused with the movie The Lorax. It is the thorax.
The Lorax. Is that a cartoon?
I'll take an applause, everybody, for that joke. That is a cartoon. It's a Dr. Seuss book, I think, originally. It was made into a movie.
That's the reason I didn't recognize it. All right, Ralph. Did you recognize it?
Yes.
Of course.
There you go. There you go.
Well, I grew up. I'm 51, so in the 70s, Dr. Seuss books were everywhere. So I reckon it's more for the book
than the
movie.
Okay. Yep. I just know it is a movie. I have not really seen it. So.
Are you sure it's not up there with Simba?
It's not up there with Simba. Not at all.
All right.
You're going to keep that one to yourself. We got the abdomen. So the third most important part, or the third major section of the honeybee is the abdomen.
This is my favorite part of the bee.
Yeah? Yeah? It's because they got the six-packs?
I love a six-pack. I don't know that I love a six-pack on a woman.
I think that's personal preference. I don't know.
I think I would prefer just a nice smooth belly.
I think that
I'm going smooth over muscle. That's my own personal preference.
heard it here first. Dave's personal preference. With the B, they don't actually have six packs. Everybody, they actually. This is where the reproductive organs are stored. So for females,
my favorite part.
there's 7 segments. For males, there's 8 segments. And this is also where the stingers are. Stingers are probably the most well-known part of the bee. Everybody knows, like, oh, get stung by a bee.
Why did God put an amusement park next to a death chamber?
I have no answers.
You have no answer to
I
that
have no
question.
answers.
But that was a really good question, right?
I mean,
Like, when you get to heaven, Lord, why is the amusement park where we get to pollinate? Captain Pollination right here,
Yeah,
my guy.
yeah.
Why is the amusement park put next to the death chamber? Like, you're the honeybee, the male. You're going in for the party of your life. You're number 50 in the train, right? Because they, mass pollinate. And now you accidentally touch the stinger and get stung and you die.
well, drones die after mating anyways, so the life of a drone is a tough one. You either get kicked out of the hive or you get to fulfill your purpose in mating, and then you die.
And at that point, I'll be honest with you, I will have, if my last duty on life is to pollinate the queen,
Go out with
I
a bang.
am going to make sure that it's the most beautiful queen I can possibly find. And there is going to be no six-pack involved with that.
You're just
I'm
going
just
for
saying,
it.
if I die at the end of mating season, at least I die happy. Right?
Hopefully.
I'm just going to say, I die happy. Like, it's,
You're out there flying around searching
it's
for
okay.
days.
It's okay. I'm dying happy. All right. So explain it to us in real beekeeper terms, not Dave's crazy lingo of human and bee
Well,
commingling.
the abdomen, like I said, it's got the reproductive organs. It's got the stinger. It's got this thing called the spiracle, which is where the respiratory system
Spherical.
of the bee exists. So that's where they can access the air to breathe. Pretty important for a bee to survive, to live.
Yeah.
So, and obviously that's where the stingers are. And they're surrounded or connected to a poison gland around the stinger. So on the inside, not on the outside, there's a poison gland. And that's why there's bee venom. You get stung and there's bee venom.
Which is also deadly to some people who are allergic to bees.
And has been used for medicinal purposes throughout human history. People have gotten stung and been healthier for it, which is maybe odd for some people to hear, but that is something that Egyptians, Romans, Greeks have done throughout history before modern medicine. If they got stung, it's okay. It's good. Actually, they might even try and sting themselves, to be healthier. There's your fun fact, I guess, for the day. So you got the head, the thorax, and the abdomen, the 3 main sections
What
of
about the stinger? The
honeybee.
stinger has 2 lancelets supported by hard plates.
Yeah.
Strong muscles connected to a poison gland on a stinger. Like the stinger. So let's
It's got exterior
talk
plates
about the stinger.
that resist around it.
When you get stung by a bee,
Yep.
that bee dies.
Yeah, so the worker bee, if the worker bee stings you, so it's only the queen and the worker bee that have stingers. The drones don't have stingers.
Yep.
They're pretty worthless as members of the hive. They don't do a whole lot. But the worker, if they sting you, if they sting a human, the human skin is just too strong for them to be able to pull out the stinger and survive. It actually will pull out their whole abdomen, and so they'll kill themselves in defense of the hive or something like that.
If they sting a dog or a bear, is it the same?
It shouldn't be. They should be able to pull their stinger out of the body. They can sting other insects and stuff and be okay. So it's just the human skin being as strong as it is.
Okay. So the human skin is what causes the death. Now
Yeah.
a wasp or a hornet or an Asian wasp,
They're bigger and stronger, and
they can sting you as many times as they want.
Yep.
And they also bite.
yes, they are what I would consider to be jerks. Don't like them.
And we also assassinate them on a regular basis.
We do try and take them out.
All right. Interior
so-
anatomy. There's a lot here, so we're only going to cover a few items.
Yeah. I'm not going to pretend to be an interior honeybee anatomy expert. However, we wanted to cover a few different key glands of the honeybee that are pretty important to the hive. First one.
Koshnikov.
Yeah, there you go, Koshnikov. It's near the stinger shaft. So, and it releases a pheromone that when a bee stings, it draws in other bees to that location.
Excuse me.
We'll go ahead and say that again. It releases a pheromone. So when a bee stings, it releases the pheromone to alert other bees that at that location, hey, a sting's happen, which typically means like a fight. There's some kind of defense of the hive. Like if you think not just the beekeeper getting stung, but naturally in the wild, or when you're not at your hive and they're trying to defend against wasp or whatever, that pheromone lets other bees know, hey, get here, come help. We need help defending.
It's like 911.
Yeah, they're calling it back.
I am so good at the sound effects. I just want to say that on every show. I absolutely crush it with the sound effects.
You could.
I'm a sound effect machine.
What you should do is you should just sit here for an hour one day, record all your sound effects, and then like send them to Hollywood and get them used in movies and collect royalties.
I detect a little bit of smack talking from Scott the Beekeeper.
I'm thinking that's
I'm
a great way for some passive income.
I'm detecting a little bit of sarcasm from Scott the Beekeeper.
I'm serious.
Scott the Beekeeper is taking shots. Scott the Beekeeper is coming out the booth.
Look, I think it's a good way to make some extra dough. But anyways, this gland smells like a banana. So there's a general beekeeping rule. Do not eat bananas before you do your inspections. They're going to think stuff's going down and they're going to come out aggressive and start stinging you. So know that. Don't eat a banana before you do your inspections.
That's actually a pretty cool tip. And, the Koshnikov gland, that's how I'm going to pronounce it. I probably butchered it. But
it's tough.
But you look at that gland. So that's actually kind of a cool tip. Like if if you're going on a field trip, you're going out to work in your hives and you're a new beekeeper, just stay away from the banana because that's what, drives that hormone smell.
Yeah. Which also,
and it can cause a little issue, right?
Yeah. You can try and mask it with smoke, but it's just best not to eat bananas before going out. The mandibular gland is released by the queen. She has the gland, and then when she releases the pheromone, it affects the social behavior of the hive, the maintenance of the hive, and even swarming. So this is a scent that's like constantly sent out throughout the hive. And if it's not being sent out in the hive will then realize, hey, where's this instructions?
We're failing.
The queen, something's wrong with the queen.
Yep. They may go kill her.
So, they'll think either maybe she's dead, something happened.
She's dead, it's true.
Maybe she's weak, and those who are around her might
eat her.
Well, they're not going to eat her. They're going to make a super seizure
Bite
cell
her.
queen, and within a couple weeks, she'll be replaced. So, this younger, stronger queen will come in and
Younger, stronger queen.
off
There
the
is
queen.
a lot of ladies out there who just had their hearts broken.
Sorry. It happens. There's also a Nasonov gland, and it's used by the workers to release a pheromone that helps orient other colony members back to the hive. So,
Or a new site if they're swarming.
yeah, if it's a swarm, they're flying around, and we've talked about swarming before, but if they're, on a branch chilling or whatever, waiting for instruction, hey, where are we going to go? These guys, or these girls rather, are going to release this scent to guide the swarm to a new location. Which is very fascinating how that works.
Bees, you know what? The anatomy of bees, the biology of bees are amazing. I would think that if biology teachers could deliver the type of content that we do as fun as we do it, every kid would love biology.
Don't just give them a textbook and say, "Hey, write a paper or take a quiz."
Or
It's
remember
so
this
boring.
keyword in Latin.
No
Hey,
one
let's
speaks
do a
Latin.
whole test of biology in Latin.
Well, I don't
I
think
just
I've ever
want to
done
say
that.
Latin's a dead language. Don't bring it up. Let it be dead.
I mean,
Keep it buried.
It'd be cool to be able to read Latin.
Just
I guess,
keep it
but
buried.
Whatever.
I have no interest. I have no interest. Keep it buried. Keep it
Heard it
buried.
here.
Fun fact, bees have 5 eyes on the head. Can you
Which we
guess the
covered.
2 types of eyes?
The compound and the
Yes.
simple.
And there is 3 simple eyes and 2 compound eyes.
But
Yep.
what is very cool about it, these eyes allow the bees to have a higher range of color vision than humans. So they can see more ultraviolet rays. They can see brighter colors better than we can, which helps them identify flowers and pollen and nectar and things to go out and get. So bees have, I would say, probably better eyesight than humans, which is kind of crazy.
Fun fact, bees have better eyesight than humans. Listen, this was a fantastic show on Teach Me
I hope
Bees
that
and other cool stuff.
You've learned some valuable stuff about the honeybee, about the anatomy, how the honeybee body works. It does matter when you're beekeeping,
Yeah.
and pay attention to the wings, to the legs, to these different parts. If they don't look normal, then there's probably an issue going on in your hive, some kind of sickness. Inspect your brood as well. That'll kind of give you hints. But by knowing the honeybee anatomy, the body of the honeybee, what it should look like, you can kind of help mitigate some of potential issues, or at least know what's going on.
Yep. Very true. So just to kind of recap what we've got here, we've got the head. The head includes the compound eye, the simple eye, the antenna, the mandible, which are the strong jaws that help the bee eat pollen, and the proboscis, which is the tongue. We've got the thorax, which contains the forewing. My favorite, the hind wing, which I also call the AC wing, which is used to cool the hive and evaporate moisture from nectar. We've got the legs, forelegs, basket legs, pollen basket, rear legs, rear carrying legs. We got a lot going on there. We got the abdomen, which is one of my favorite parts of the body, where we've got the spiracle, the stinger, and the reproductive organs. Yay, party. We've got the interior anatomy, which, is a lot, but has a lot of glands that, release a lot of pheromones and really help control the bees in a lot of different ways. And so that's kind of just a quick recap on the bees. Listen, if you're interested in saving the bees, plant flowers. This is a great time. This is springtime. It's Easter is upon us. It's Holy Week this week. Go plant some flowers. Plant some flowers. Plant some Easter flowers. Plant flowers. Plant flowers. Plant fruit trees. Plant. Because that's what the bees need more than anything, is places to go and grab pollen and pollinate and so forth.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts here, Scott the Beekeeper?
I think it's been a good, fun episode. I don't pretend to be a full expert on biology for humans or honeybees, but it's helpful to know some of the basic things. So try and know some of these basic things, maybe take a class, watch some good old YouTube
I'm
on
only
these.
an expert in the reproductive system.
Some of us are experts in a variety of things.
This is a fun show. I'm just going to say.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Teach Me Bees.
And other cool stuff.
And other cool stuff.
Because I think it's important to talk about other cool stuff every so often. We love bees. We have a bee farm, Honey for Hope. Check it out. All of the profit from our Honey for Hope bee farm goes to charity. Buy our honey. Use us to pollinate your farms. You can see we like to have fun. We're good humans. We love to enjoy life. We enjoy everything about life. We smile. We laugh. We take care of bees. We reproduce. This is Captain Pollination right here. We have a great time. And when are we going to have your wife on the show as a podcast guest?
I'm not sure.
I'm just kidding. We would keep that very, very professional. Anyways, listen, this was a great show. If you like it, follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, anywhere where it's social, I'm hanging out. I'm Dave Wescott, your host, and we will see you back here next Thursday, same time, every single week. Thursday, Teach Me Bees and other cool stuff. I'm Dave Wescott. This is saying see you later. Got any final thoughts there, Scott the Beekeeper? Just peace.
Have a great week, everybody.
All right. Happy Holy Week.